Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, it's okay, I'd like to answer both those questions together. Speculation is needed in markets for liquidity's sake. But as I mentioned in my presentation, the question of adequate liquidity or excessive liquidity are two different things. I want to give you an example to answer Venezuela's point. She mentioned climate change. Right after the earthquake in Haiti, I went into Haiti immediately. I've been to Haiti 3 times since the massive earthquake struck that impoverished nation on the 12th of January. And what I saw was a gas station that was closed. And we got out of our vehicle and we asked a few Haitian citizens what was happening, and they said that the owner of the gas station decided to close his gas station even though rescue vehicles and the cars that were on the road at that time needed gasoline. He was speculating. He said, let me close my gas station today, wait 2, 3, or 4 days and open up, because in 4 days I can charge more per gallon of gas. That's speculation at the micro level. 2 things happen with speculation. One is manipulation, and the other is excessive speculation. So to answer your question, Ghana, is speculation needed? Yes, but not 70% or 80% as I mentioned in the wheat markets. So you have 80% of those who hold contracts in the futures wheat market who don't even have an interest in getting wheat or bread or nutrition to those in need. That needs to be limited. And before the OTC markets, before traders were able to trade online, before 2000, which they still do today, nothing has been changed, believe it or not, since the world crisis that we all suffer from. That was hovered around 35%. And no one complained about liquidity. So, to answer your question, as I said in my presentation, speculation should be 50% or below. And ideally, it should be at 35%. But I want to mention the 2 important differences that happen with respect to speculation. One is market manipulation, and the other is excessive speculation. Market manipulation is with intent, that there are traders that are purposefully manipulating the market. The excessive speculation is more of an aggregate situation. Basically, there may be excessive speculation, but it's unintended. There's just a lot of capital from hedge funds and pension funds and other entities that don't even care whether your African countries or our Latin American countries get bread or food tomorrow. They're just there to make money off of climate change and suffering in Haiti with the gas stations and other places. So I want to read something briefly, and it's basically the point is that, like I said, you need to keep speculation in the market below 50%. I believe that 35% or below is, or 35% is ideal. But you need to address both market manipulation and excessive speculation. Assume a market, I'm going to read this. This is a new study. Assume a market with open interest of 1,000 contracts, 1,000 futures contracts. Bona fide physical hedgers hold 70,000 of those 100,000 contracts. And the remaining 30,000 are held by 60 speculators, who each hold an average of 500 contracts. So of 100,000, remember, 70,000 are bona fide producers and consumers, let's say of wheat. They are trading, they're hedging on wheat in the future. The 30,000 are speculators who each hold an average of 50 or 500 contracts. In this market, individual speculative position limits have been set at 1% of open interest. So this could be a regulation saying that these are called position limits, and this is being debated as we speak right now in Congress in the United States, for example, that the position limits are held at 1% or 1,000 contracts per speculator, basically saying that Goldman Sachs cannot exceed 1,000 contracts. Then open interest becomes 130,000 contracts, representing a rise in speculative percentage from 30% to 46%. Remember, wheat markets is at 80 right now, and oil derivatives, depending upon how you look at it, is around 70. Now, the 1% of open interest position limit automatically adjusts upwards from 1,000 contracts to 1,300 contracts, enabling speculators to increase their positions again to as much as 78,000 contracts, representing a rise in speculative percentage to 53%. Left unchecked or left unregulated, this chain reaction could lead to higher and higher levels of speculation. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So my question is, what has been this speculation about in the recent oil price increases in couple? Thank you.
Well, the greatest example is 2008, where oil hovered at 75 early in the year, and then by July it went up to 147, and then once people started to catch on that there was a massive flood of $300 billion going into the oil futures markets by way of speculation, the price went up. After everyone caught on and Congress, U.S. Congress began to have inquiries and hearings, the price went down. There are many people that say that the price went down because demand went down, but or demand went up. But I mean, remember, the United States was in a recession that same year. So the point is that throughout that boom and bust in 2008, there were days, and the record was that oil went up $25. So if you're saying in Azerbaijan, an oil-producing country, the price of a barrel to produce it is $10 to $15, and the price of the barrel shoots up $25 in one day on top of whatever it was, that is not a reflection of supply and demand. That is, I mean, there's nothing in China or India, which are normally the excuses that China and India are consuming more, and the countries that are emerging economically are consuming more oil, and that's why the price is going up. That's a reflection of speculation. And there is a massive amount. And part of the problem is we don't know because it's all on the internet in these OTC, over-the-counter, online trading terminals since the days of Enron and since the days of the CF, Commodity Futures Modernization Act in the U.S. We don't really know. We know that market is $596 trillion. But there's an argument that everyone says that, or many people say that for every buyer, there's a seller. I mean, that has been, my position is that goes for every product. But if you want to analyze this, you can put 3 barrels of oil on the shelf to be sold. If the first 2 barrels cost $35 and they have a buyer and a seller, as any product does, and the third barrel costs $147 and those 2 barrels are sold, what is the price now set at? It's whatever's left. So yes, it's not they don't cancel each other out as some critics say. What happens is the amount of transactions and the amount of capital that goes into this into the oil markets rises the price. It's just the amount of transactions that pass. So